Last time on A Summer Adrift. We continued our fishing adventures in Yellowstone, and then headed back to Jackson, where we met up with Peter, Shruti, and some old friends.
Instant pot. Yeah, I can put a bunch of rice.
After a few days in Jackson, we loaded up on supplies and ventured further south to stage ourselves for another backpacking trip. Before heading into the backcountry, we spent a few days getting some work done. We found a quiet place near a lake to sit still, check some things off of our to-do list, and enjoy the view in our free time.
This is like a cologne. Like coming out of the water. You're coming out of like unicorn water.
Like target practice. Trying to hit that rock.
Throw rocks at rocks.
Yeah. This is what men do. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
Ooh, wait.
That was a good one.
Wow.
Wow, that cloud is really cool too.
Owen sent the drone up to capture the dramatic sunset. While flying over the water, Owen told it to return to the launch site. However, it never returned. Where it ended up and why it never returned is something that we still wonder to this day. For the last couple of days, we have been camped just at a lake outside of Pinedale, Wyoming, but now we are headed into town to sadly drop Luna off at a boarding facility in preparation for doing a 4-night backpacking trip into the Winds, which I'm super excited about. We've been shut down by the Wind River Range countless times, so we're really looking forward to finally making this happen. We have run all of the errands and are finishing up our day with a very exciting food experience called Pitchfork Western Cookout. Pitchfork Fondue, but we're not really sure how the fondue comes into it because it's a meat restaurant. So we're going to check it out and find out. This authentic cowboy told us that it's called Pitchfork Fondue because everything on the menu is fried in a kettle of oil. With our protein order in, we sat down to some homemade kettle chips. Oh, and did I mention, it's all you can eat. It was also BYOB, so we came prepared with a bottle of wine. Yay!
Hey, where are we going with the trout?
Trout right here.
Right here. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, girl.
That looks great.
That looks real good.
Oh, yeah.
3 medium rares.
Yep. Got one right here. Got one right there.
Wow, that looks awesome.
Boom. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, that is a beautiful view.
It's like above and beyond.
Eventually, we started to get full, but wanted to be sure that we had enough room for dessert. Oh God.
Oh, Peter's doing elevated feet too.
Yeah, but look at how low
he's a
his butt
maniac.
is.
Wow, just crushing his form.
Yeah, that's like a limp noodle. That's not a push-up.
I could recommend the sandwich. They make a nice combo.
I like that. They fit perfectly together. Oh wow, yeah, look at that.
They have them in Seaside, Florida.
Feeling stuffed to the gills, we packed our leftover desserts and headed back to camp to start packing. After our night of feasting on deep fried meats, none of us had a good night's sleep. We were up for most of the night with violent stomach cramps and unpleasant bathroom experiences. The restless night left us all feeling subpar as we hit the trail. Oh, well, okay. That's nice. Maybe it was the view, or the welcome distraction of hiking, but with every passing mile, we began to feel better. Eventually, we even worked up enough of an appetite to stop for lunch. Excuse me? Who are these cuties, might you ask? Well, I have no idea. I froze up too long to ask, but we felt very lucky to share the trail with them, even if it was just for a brief moment. Exhausted and soaked in the meat sweats, we arrived at our destination. We set up a base camp that would serve as our home for the next few days as we explored deeper into this breathtaking landscape. The bugs were bad, but the views made it easy to forget about the incessant buzzing. After dinner prep was set into motion, we schemed about what we wanted to accomplish while we were in the winds. By now, I'm sure you've come to realize that we didn't hike all the way out here just to sit around camp for 4 days. We planned to seek out and summit the second highest peak in the range. Fremont Peak stands at an impressive 13,745 feet and is the third highest peak in the state of Wyoming. Oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I like it.
This would be... Dessert is served on the half shell. A half? I never had this before. With full bellies, we sat back and watched the last light of day retreat from Fremont Peak. We woke up early in preparation for the long day on trail. We could see our summit from camp, but we knew it would take us hours to reach our destination due to the amount of climbing it would take to get us to the peak. Doesn't look as bad from this angle. Well. This is good looking.
Definitely not ugly.
Even though we had all day, we felt a sense of urgency to get to the summit before lunch. After monitoring the weather for a few days leading up to our hike, we noticed that the mountains were prone to afternoon storms. We figured if we made it to the summit and began our descent before lunch, that we'd be able to avoid being on top for a potentially dangerous storm.
Every Mother's Day needs a mother's night.
From this point, we had just a half mile left to the summit, but that half mile contained 1,500 feet of elevation gain. Owen and I pressed on to the summit ahead of Peter and Shruti. We made it! Woo-hoo. Yay! Hell yeah. We made it to the top just a few minutes before another group and decided to leave the small peak to let them enjoy it for themselves while we waited for Peter and Shruti. While we waited to have the summit to ourselves, we sat back and enjoyed the fruits of our labors. Getting here on our own 2 feet will always make us proud. Proud of having the ability, the drive, and determination to push through discomfort to arrive here together. Our time on the summit was sadly short-lived. On the horizon, storm clouds quickly started to form earlier than we had seen in days prior. The storm was moving faster than we could. In a matter of minutes, we were being pelted by hail that was coming in sideways. Our only option was to find shelter. We found 2 small slots in the granite, each only being big enough for 2 people. It was just in time for the lightning to start shaking the mountain. All we could do was wait. I think that the wind just changed directions.
It's blowing. It seems to be blowing a slightly different direction than it was before.
Yeah, because now we've got like
It was
more
going-
clear skies behind all of this.
Well, there's definitely some more coming if the clouds continue this way.
Okay.
Actually, shit, there's a lot. We could be up here for hours.
Should we make a break for it?
I don't know. It's really hard to tell. Like, their worst patch so far is coming our way now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Stick your head out here.
Oh, fuck. We are currently hunkered underneath a rock, waiting for a storm to hopefully pass. We've been hit by 2 waves already, one of which we just did while we were hiking. The second one started to have thunder and lightning, so we hunkered under this rock. But we have a really serious one still coming. So instead of making a break for it in between storm 2 and 3, we decided it was probably best to stay in a spot that we knew we had some coverage. So Owen and I are in this hole. Peter and Truthy are a little bit further down the hill in a separate one. But I'm shivering. It's really cold. Hopefully after the next one comes through, we'll have a better opening. It is unfortunate because if it rains, which it's been hailing, makes all this rock, which is all slick rock, really hard to go down. But it's weird. None of this was on the forecast, so it's all coming out of left field.
Eventually, we got our window to scurry off the summit. The hike back down to the saddle was painful. We were all frozen from being wet during the sudden temperature drop and being curled up in a ball for nearly an hour. By the time we made it down to the saddle, the skies had cleared, bringing much-needed warmth. We only had to stop one last time to shelter from yet another fast-moving storm before we were able to complete our return trip to base camp. With Fremont in the background, we sat down to dinner exhausted from the day's events.
It's seen better days. All right. I'm sorry, but the peanut butter Snickers is far superior than the other Snickers.
Yeah, it's so good.
Summiting Fremont was by far the most intimidating thing on our to-do list for our time here in the Winds. With that now complete, we suited up for a casual day of hiking further into the basin. After the high-stress experience from the day before, we were all thankful for a low-key day of wandering.
Oh, Val.
I often find myself wondering why we come all the way out here to do these things. These experiences in the backcountry constantly push us to the edge of our comfort zone, where we have to confront our fears and come to terms with them so we can move forward. We come all the way out here to learn these big and often scary lessons in a place where there aren't safety nets. When we return to normal life, we can then extrapolate those lessons across every facet of our lives. The mountains make us better, stronger people who know what they're capable of.
Oh my God, That seriously feels so good.
After returning to camp, we packed up to head to a new spot to spend our last night. The idea was to put in a few miles, so we wouldn't have to have such a long hike back to the trailhead the following day. We came to rest at a quiet spot near a new lake. While setting up our tent, we came to the realization that we were fresh out of fuel to make dinner. Owen thankfully got to work building a platform for us to start a fire so we could boil some water.
That might be the hottest water we've had yet.
Success. Thanks to the hot water, our freeze-dried meals were actually enjoyable. After dinner, we took our dessert to an outcropping of rock where we watched our final day in the winds fade from the sky. Having loved our sunset vantage point from the night before, we decided to enjoy our coffee and breakfast from the same spot before starting the long journey back to the trailhead. We almost never feel ready to leave the backcountry. Out here, life moves slowly and is pared down to just the essentials. We always return with an empowering sense of self-reliance that we can't seem to get enough of. But at the other end of this trail, Luna and a burger were calling, and thus we had to go. Yay! Guess who's back? We've been gone for 4 days, and all she wants to do is rub her face on our kennel door. Come here. That's a happy kitty. Next time on A Summer Adrift. Come here often.
Your mama let you date.
Sure does.
Hi, cutie.